Hello everybody and welcome back to Rugby Wrap-Up. I'm Matt McCarthy at Red Bull Arena, just a drop kick from New York City and Harrison, New Jersey.
Hi everybody.
You can't see me because of an act of nature, but you won't care because you can see the legend that is Mr. Jacques Burger, star of Saracens and face of Namibia, down on the pitch. Jacques, you are the ultimate warrior, a man amongst men. What would you like the American fan to remember about your game and your relentless physicality?
Well, hopefully they think I'm fearless. I think it's a big part of the game is to be fearless and have a lot of respect for your opponent, but not be afraid of anything that comes your way. So that's a quality that I hopefully people see when they see me playing the game, and that kids grow up see the game as well.
You are the epitome of blood and guts on the pitch, and the world got to see it on the Rugby World Cup stage as you fought for Namibia. You play on an entirely different level.
Yeah.
How do you get to that level time and time again? Your motor doesn't stop running.
You know what? I love my country. I'm proud Namibian. Born and raised in Namibia. So whenever I get the chance to represent my country, I go out there and I give my absolute best. It's up to the professionals to really lift the level and to show some belief. If you put out there and you go and do your best, the guys will follow you and they'll do anything for you. I've got a lot of respect for the guys I play with every time, and I show that by giving my absolute best every time I pull that shirt on, and I represent my countrymen and I represent my family. So it's easy. I love playing for Namibia. Even though we're amateurs, it's great to go out there and represent your country.
Good stuff. Okay, so Namibia is in the Southern Hemisphere. You have a Southern Hemisphere pedigree for rugby. What adjustments did you have to make adapting to the Northern Hemisphere style of play?
It's tough to say, It's just different. It's just different. I think down south, it's a lot quicker. It's a lot more expansive game. In the Northern Hemisphere, it's a bit more structured. They concentrate on the set pieces maybe a little bit more. And the weather plays a massive part of how the game is played. In the north, there's a lot more rain, muddy pitches. You can make a lot of mistakes. You've got to be a bit more smarter. Whereas in the Southern Hemisphere, they have a crack. Although the rules are exactly the same, the game is played slightly different because of conditions. All good players will come up. They all adapt. It just takes them a small amount of time, and I think the speed of the ball is a bit quicker down south. But I wouldn't say one is better than the other.
Any changes in the game overall from a forward standpoint that you'd like to see made?
That I'd like to see.
Anything that hinders your game?
There's a lot of issues with scrums. There's a lot of resets, a lot of penalties, and it's something that's poorly refereed by a lot of referees and touch judges. And I get that it's tough for them. There's so many things that can happen. Every coach tries to break the rule or try to adjust the rule to get the better of the opponent. So for me, it's a time to get a breather. So it's not the worst, and it's time for the backs to get all their bearings right. So. But I think that's the one aspect of the game I'll try to adjust and try to fix. And how you do that, I don't know. That's something that's going to be hard to do.
Jacques, you're part of history here.
Yeah.
The first regular season premiership match on foreign soil. As America embraces rugby, are you worried it might change the game for the worse?
I can't see them changing it for the worse. I can see them changing it for the better. I hope people take it on religiously like the rest of the world or all the rugby countries currently have. America will be the perfect place for rugby to really evolve. They've got everything. Talented individuals, big country, the right financial backing. Well, not in rugby, but if they can get that in the right directions, then they could be a great rugby force. We've got a couple of American guys playing in our team, and these are guys who play for the US, and they've been great for us. It just shows that the rugby is growing in the US, and if people start watching more of these events, start really knowing what the game's about, the rules and everything, and I can see great things for rugby in the US.
Changing gears.
Yeah.
Pro rugby is starting here in the United States.
Yeah.
Could you see yourself one day stepping over? Not that we're saying leave your contract or anything.
I'm actually retiring at the end of the season, so this is my last season playing.
What if we talked you out of it?
I don't know. If they can build me in a new body, then I'll probably do it. That's so exciting. If I was a bit younger, this will be a great opportunity, and I think people are really friendly from what I've found from the time being here. And they're passionate about sport. That's what you need when you get into rugby. The people are passionate.
Well, they'd be passionate about a guy like you on the pitch. I'll tell you that.
Well, maybe I should stay one more year. You talked me into it. No,
Player coach role?
Hey, you never know. I've had my options open. I've been talking about or thinking about doing some coaching and stuff, but that's things we'll see in the future how these things go, you know. But
do you have the patience to deal with backs without smashing them?
I'll try and stick with the forwards and defensive part of things, to be honest. Keep them to play ball in the back. That's not my speciality. I can't wait to see what the league is like, because I think it's going to be a great thing for US rugby.
What does a guy like you do to relax?
What do I do to relax?
Since you play at such an exhausting level, is it that when you're walking off the pitch after a game, that's when you're relaxed?
That is. When I started off younger as a rugby player, I was really intense. I lived for rugby, you know. I still do. I still live for rugby. But along the years, I've realised you gotta find other things outside rugby that keeps you busy, because it ends so quickly, you know. With the game is brutal, you know. There's a lot of serious injuries, and
especially the way you play.
Yeah, especially that's why I found out my body was messed up, and I decided to kind of get into something else. I've got a farm back home in Namibia, which I'm passionate about, and I've got family which I'm passionate about, and I've got a lot of friends which I made through rugby.
That segues perfectly into our last question. What do you love most about rugby?
The thing I love most about rugby is the friendship part of it, is the hanging out with the boys after the match, and the fact that you can walk off a pitch after smashing each other and there's been blood and there's been breaks and whatever, but you can walk off and you can shake hands and say, listen, thanks for the game, it's been great. And you see, that's part of the reason why I fell in love with this game for the first part. So it's a great game, and I'll miss it one day when I can't do it anymore. So make sure we use every minute we get now.
Well, there's no doubt that you left it on the pitch and you entertained a lot of people.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Cheers, mate.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jacques Burger. And as Jacques gets back to business, we have ironed out our technical difficulties just in time to say goodbye. With that, Matt McCarthy for Rugby Wrap-Up, reporting from Red Bull Arena.